80% of populations living in humanitarian crisis are underrepresented in global health research. That's the gap MSF is trying to close. Conducting rigorous research, however, in conflict zones, outbreaks, resource-limited contexts is genuinely hard. And often the project team who are closest to the most important questions don't have the infrastructure to answer them. That's where the Operational Research Advisor or OR Advisor comes in. At Luxor, MSF Operational Research Unit, we help shape any questions, critical thinking that comes from the projects and turn it into a study. We support designing the study, making sure it's ethical, methodologically sound, that implementations are well on track. We support or lead the data analysis, interpreting what it means, translating it into tangible actions for patients and for programs. We will also be involved in disseminating the findings, policy recommendations that reach the ones who need them the most.
Hi, my name is Umberto. I am an anthropologist and I work for Luxor as an operational research advisor. Every day my job is to get in touch with colleagues around the world, trying to follow up on their research projects. Today, for example, I had some meetings with colleagues in Congo, where we have a project on sexual violence. Then I moved to the Mediterranean, where we have projects on migration. And this afternoon, I'm trying to read and follow up on research protocols and literature. Every day is very different. I have to be very flexible and very ready to respond to the needs of my colleagues that are in the field and that they are trying to carry on their research projects. But it's my role to be there for them, and it's also very important that they can talk with somebody that is outside their field.
I will highlight the typical day of an OR advisor in the field. So in one of the pictures you see that the principal investigator, so the person who was really interested in doing the research, needs to verify all the data which was in the electronic database, because lots of it was not matching and lots of it was missing. So this is a tremendous obstacle we see over and over again. Despite we put a lot of emphasis on it, it is not the most well collected data which we are having. Very, very rewarding part. The picture of the lady presenting, that is a student who went through the whole cycle, had never done research before, and now she's presenting in a scientific day for a large audience. Tremendously rewarding for the person, but also for the OR researcher, who feels proud of that. She was able, so in this sense me, to get this person this far. Another picture where you see all the people together, a lot of group work. If it's almost never that you do things on your own. Sometimes it's a too large group which can be an obstacle, and sometimes it's essential. And sometimes you are doing it as a presentation, so you present your findings, because if you don't present them, then why did you do the research? One of the pictures is that there was a whole group session and where we discussed the results with the community members as well as with the authorities. Very important to go through that stage. Can be very slow and tiresome, but it's also very rewarding when people have the feeling that we did it together.
Well, it depends on the research, and of course a lot of small challenges can happen along the way. But for instance, I see that there is a lot of frustration on understanding how approval processes work, and this is both Doctors Without Borders side and also local approvals, because of course you cannot just take patients' files and start reading it and doing an analysis. And sometimes this is frustrating. Understanding the process, learning how to write a proposal, because, I don't know, for example, I see a lot of investigators find very frustrating the background of the of the protocol. They want to write, I don't know, malaria is very serious, so I want to do a research. And we ask them, no, you really have to do a literature review. Tell me what is known about this and why this is important. And this takes a lot of time for people that usually they already have a lot of work, right? They are epidemiologists, medical doctors that are in our projects with, let's say, 1,000 patients a day, and then you're asking them on the top of that to do a literature review. But of course, you have to justify why you are doing a research. The approval times can take a lot of time. I have had many projects in which there was a strike, for example, in the project, so the ethical board of the country didn't really approve anything for 6 months, and you have to wait, or you have to find a way around, or try to get the approval of another local university that already kind of works with the National Ethics Board, or that's another problem.
My name is Yoros Karapanagos and I'm an epidemiology advisor with MSF Luxembourg. My base is Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, but my work lives across 5 countries in West Africa. On any given week, I'm there to support epidemiology-related activities like disease surveillance, outbreak investigation and control, and to assist with operational research. I do that by supporting people on the ground, epidemiologists, data supervisors, data analysts, people who do an incredible work, most often in very difficult conditions. The work comes with challenges. There is a travel, frequent, often unpredictable. Then there is something that I find particularly striking, the pace at which new technologies and tools are developed, and an implied expectation of instant adoption of those innovations at the places we work. But we often overlook that these new developments have never been designed with these contexts in mind.